Today we're going to start looking at composite shapes. Now, a composite shape is a shape made up of several different other shapes, and we can break it back up to find the area. So here I have a rectangle at the bottom, and if I cut it across here, you can see I've got a half circle at the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to work out the area of each of these and then add them together. So my half circle, well, if it was a full circle, then the area would be pi times my radius squared. Because I've got a half circle, I'm going to want to divide that by 2, so I get half of my circle. So I've got, now I need to know what my radius is. This here is my full the way across. That would be my diameter. So my radius here must be half of 20, which is 10. So I've got pi times 10 squared divided by 2. I put that into my calculator, and I'm going to get 157 centimeters squared. There'll be some decimal places, but we'll ignore that for now. And then I've got the bottom part, which is my rectangle, and that's 25 by 20. And looking back up on my formulas, I know that that's going to be breadth times height. So 20 times 25, put that into my calculator, and I get 500 centimeters squared. So my total area is just going to be these two added together, 157 plus 500, and I get 657 centimeters squared. So I'll look at another example. Now this one at the top is again made up of several different shapes, and I could cut it into these shapes. It's not the only way I could cut it. I could have cut it across here and cut down, or I could have not even bothered with this because this is just a trapezium, isn't it? And we know how to do a trapezium, but I'll leave it as 3 shapes because sometimes we forget how to calculate a trapezium. So what we need to do now is work out the dimensions of each of these shapes. So I've got this bit here, and I can see that up to here it's 12 and down is 12. So its area is going to be length, breadth times width, which will be 12 times 12 equals 144 meters squared. So that's the first one. Now let's look at this rectangle down here. Well, I can see that quite easily that's going to be 6 up. That's easy to work out. But this bit here, how long is that? Well, I know the whole thing along here is 20. And I know that this bit here was 12. 12 plus something must equal 20, and 12 plus 8. Or you could say 20 minus 8 equals 12. So I know that this must be 8. I had to do a little bit of work to do that. But now I just do breadth times width. So breadth of 8 times width of 6 equals 48 meters squared. Now, the last thing I've got to do is work out this triangle here. I might just draw that over here. Now, this 10 is actually useless because what we want is this length and this length. That 10 is some additional information we're just going to ignore because we don't need it at all. Now, we've already worked out what the length here is because it's the same as over here. That must be 8. So now what we need to know is this length. And we know that this is 6 and this whole thing was 12. So this must be whatever you need to add to 6 to make 12, which is another 6. And it doesn't look like that on the diagram. It may just be a poorly drawn diagram, but sometimes you'll get that. So area of a triangle was a half breadth times height, and we calculate that'd be another 48, but half of that would be 24, and then I get my total, and I just add all these together. So 144 plus 48 plus 24, 6 carry the 1, 111, 200.